A friend of mine told me about his mother growing up in a Baptist church, Southern Baptist church. And when she was elderly, she sat in the front pew. And her job was, when the minister was droning on, and this is true, she would sit there and she'd go like this. So if one of you would like to do that, I invite you to do that.
Now, can I get an amen card?
No, actually, I've asked David. What David's going to do is he's going to keep an eye on the clock, and when it gets to be too long, he's going to go, he's going to start to cough. Yeah, just start playing music. Okay, time's up. So I'm ready. Now the problem is that I didn't tell him exactly how long, so he may, after 5 minutes, start doing that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. A safe place. What comes into your mind when I say a safe place? Home.
My kids.
Your kids. Friends. Here. It's usually a safe place is a person or a place. It could be a loved one, family member. It could be a trusted friend who allows you to walk into their place and be just what you need to be. For some, it's a therapist. The door is closed, and you can be as vulnerable and as ugly and as genuine and human as you want to be, and you know there's no judgment. It feels so good. You take a deep breath because it's safe there. A place, it very well could be like it is for the family at the First Unitarian Universalist Church in Hillcrest. We're facing deportation. They are there, and that is their safe place. It could be the top of a mountain for some of you. It could be at the beach. Some of you, when I say safe place, you may go to material things and immediately think of Fort Knox. Where, and I don't know if it's what it is today, but I mean, it's a 22-ton door, that we know. That's a heavy door to break through. And at one point, there's $137 billion worth of gold in there, and 5,000 tons of precious metals. And at one time, they kept the Declaration of Independence. I mean, Fort Knox symbolizes to us a safe place if you want to hide something and protect something. I love the Psalms. And when I thought, I only have so many Sundays with you. So what am I going to say? Because you have taken time out of your day, out of your weekend, to be here. And I know sometimes ministers think it's all about them and all about the sermon, whether this is a worthwhile time for you. The reality is, as the older I get, that's not the case. But I want to say something meaningful. I want to be able to give you something so that when you walk away from here, that big idea, that one thought may stick with you. So I'm going to find myself in the Psalms for the rest of my time here with you. Because I love the Psalms. because no matter where you are in life, there is an emotion in the Psalms that may meet you. Raw emotion. This psalm this morning was written from a person's life who could speak from experience. David. You all know about David. You know who David was. You know about his wealth. You know about his leadership. You know about his talent as a musician. So David writes this psalm because he recognized a need in his life for a safe place. Why? Well, when he wrote the psalm, and if you go back to 2 Samuel, you'll find this exact psalm in 2 Samuel. It's because he was running for his life from Saul the king. He had to find a safe place. And where did he find it? Probably in a cave, in a big rock. He was running from his own son, Absalom, who wanted to usurp his power and the throne. His son. He was looking for safety. David was running all the time. For all that David had, underneath it all, David was afraid. David was depressed. What could be more depressing than that your son wants to kill you? David was lonely. How do you think David felt after he committed adultery with Bathsheba? And then ordered her husband to go to the front line to be killed. Guilty? Yes. Ashamed? Absolutely. Regretful? You name all the emotions. It's like it's all coming into here. David recognizes, I'm a man on the run. I'm a man who feels alone. I'm a man who's messed up and confused, dealing with depression. And he takes a deep breath, and in the moment of silence, when he's waiting in the dark and the cold, he says, my soul waits in silence for God alone. He recognized his need for a safe place. I spent 8 years at a hospital just like Kimmy has had to deal with in her young life, in a cancer ward, in the intensive care unit. And story after story of children being dealt an unfair set of circumstances, a disease, an illness, and watching parents grieve and trying to live with that and be the best they can for their child. This one family, two incredible human beings who both worked at the same law firm. They founded the law firm, had two beautiful 2-year-old twins. In Florida, they had a backyard pool that had a screen around it and an incredible, wonderful nanny. But one day, the front door was left open. Not the back door to the pool, but the front door. And the little boy walked out the front door to the neighbors, and the neighbor did not have a fence. And he wandered back and fell in the pool. And I met this mom and dad in the intensive care unit. And for 1 week, I visited and sat with them. And after 1 week of realizing that the miracle was not going to come, that their prayers would not be answered, they made their 2-year-old an organ donor. There was nothing that I or anyone else could say in a parent's deepest grief. And I thought, if anyone needs a place to somehow catch a breath, to find some ounce of safety in their extreme pain. It was this family and that family. It's Kimmy, it's Peter. Where do you go when you need the safe place? David wrote a song. David wrote these words: God alone is my safe place. And when you read the psalm and you see how many times he uses the word my, it's so personal to David. How could it not be with his life experiences? God is my refuge. God is my fortress. God is my salvation. God is my rock. It's the place where I go to take a deep breath. It's interesting. Does anyone here know Chinese, speak Chinese, study Chinese? A little. I mean, just drawing those little characters. In Chinese, for the word crisis, they took two symbols and put them together to mean crisis. And the two symbols that they put together, one was dangerous and the other was opportunity. That means crisis. So I'm thinking, David is in a really dangerous place in his life, literally. Someone wants to kill him. Someone wants to chase him down. And his life is on the line. But there's an opportunity. For all of us, we've never been there. Maybe you have, I don't know. That's one of the problems. I don't know each one of you. I don't know your life. I don't know your background. I don't know your experience. But then again, I do know you. I know that you have not been exempt from pain or suffering in your life because you're a human being. You may be in a crisis right now. You may be in a very, very difficult place. Financially, things may not be right. A relationship has been broken. You've lost someone that you love. A spouse, a friend, a dog, a cat. You may just be lonely. You may be losing your independence. Whatever it is that we would say crisis, challenging circumstance, difficult life experience, a place I don't want to be in my life, there's an opportunity to find a safe place, to make a choice. And all of us do that in our life. You have done that in your life, which has brought you to this place, which allows you to take a deep breath and say, in spite of all this, there is hope. And so God will be my refuge. God is going to be that rock that I know is always going to be there and will not change. And I can stand on it. And whatever comes, it's going to be there because it's solid. It's not like the sinking sand that the wind will blow. God will be my salvation. God will be my fort. Having spent 5 years at the United States Military Academy as a chaplain, I saw the kind of fortresses and the kind of protective places that they would build for themselves when faced with an enemy. You seek a shelter. You know where to run. You know where to hide. And David is saying, all of the resources I had in God alone, God alone was the safe place for me. It's where I went. So the challenge for you, the challenge for me, is when I meet things in life that I don't like, that unsettle my heart and mess up my mind, where am I going to go with it? There is nothing that I can do about the past to change the past. So I somehow must let it go. There is nothing that I can do about the future because I don't know what the future holds. I didn't know this was going to happen to me. I didn't know that I would be faced with this experience in my life. I don't know what that is. So why am I going there, borrowing that trouble? Tomorrow has enough issues of its own. It's this moment that I have. And so I need to forget this and forget that and keep myself in this moment. And I wait patiently. And I breathe deeply. And I put myself in this moment. And in this moment, I say, God is my safe place. I wish I could have heard David sing the song to the words that he had written. I'll challenge you, David. He is your namesake. Take these words and put it to song for me, okay? And sing me a song next time.
He's your namesake, too.
Yeah. Well, I can't sing as well as you. Where is your safe place? That's all I want to ask you. One person found a place that worked for him. And I would suggest in this moment, in this time, wherever you are, wherever we are, God has been, God always will be, God is a safe place.